let us move right along. We've got a bunch of people in here, but we're going to move down the list to our guy, local Washington and Baltimore Ravens fan, Nathan Snell. Nate, what's up, man? Nate M. Snell. How you doing, man?
What's going on, y'all? Good. How y'all doing? Thanks for having me on.
Doing well. Doing well. Thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So what's up, man? What you're right up 95, outside looking in. What are your thoughts with how the offseason has gone for Washington your view?
I think the off season, for me, I think it's gone smooth. Regardless of all the distractions, what's happening up top with the, we're getting ready to transition. We're moving that man off his throne. Thank the high heavens. No, I like the pickup with Eric Bieniemy. I could actually see him being a replacement for Ron Rivera whenever Ron decides to move to the front office. I think some of the moves we made in free agency, I called it with Deron Payne, giving him that contract. I was off a couple $1 million, but I figured that he should have been a priority signing. I was a little bit disappointed we didn't try to dig a little deeper in free agency. I liked to have seen if there was like a veteran corner we could have gotten, maybe a veteran linebacker, even offensive line. I still think you can find all that stuff in the draft, which is good. But I give the off season, I'd say it's a B+.
Okay, like that's pretty high. Like yeah. What do you think was the best move of the offseason?
I say hiring Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah,
I'd say that was the best move, honestly. I think it was in need of change. Pace of offense. I think the way how things kind of ended last year, everything just ended on a bad note. And I think it's good to get a new sense of relief, a new sense of offense. I think you need something more dynamic in Washington. So I'd say that was probably the biggest off-season acquisition. You could say Dan Snyder's just getting ready to sell the team. It's the biggest acquisition.
Yeah.
But,
Oh
yeah. I can dig that. Now, let me ask you something, and I'm going to jump right into it because it's been well documented. You in Baltimore have your own issues with quarterback. We were one of the people looking at quarterback, but we decided to go against it because obviously we're keeping my guy. This is just going to be a theme for the show. I'm just going to put 14 on the camera. But what do you think about that? We get Jacoby Brissett, and you've had firsthand knowledge with him being one of your rivals with the Browns and seeing how he played last year. We have Sam Howell, who right now we have for cheap. I mean, do you think that's the right move for us to try to let Sam Howell start in there and then, Jacoby back him up? Or do you think we should have done another free agency move like we did last year?
Well, I think when Ron, at the end of the season presser, he stated that Sam was going to be the starting quarterback going into the offseason, that's who you're rolling with. I don't think it's I think Jacoby, from watching him a couple of times playing against the Ravens, he's he's an upgrade from Taylor Heineke, no disrespect. I do think that, roll with Sam. I just think that the way the situation played out last year, I just think, you got to take into account injuries, inconsistent playmaking, inconsistent time management, those type of things you got to take in consideration. And now you look at a new offensive coordinator. You're bringing it, and you're bringing everybody back healthy. Some guys are no longer on the team, but I think you should have a veteran behind Sam. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
Good deal. All right, man. Well, we got the draft coming up here in 8 days. It's surprising to think that the offseason continues to roll quickly, and here it is. So
Mhm.
What do you think Washington should be doing in this draft? Like, what are some of the positions that you think they need to be addressing? And do you have thoughts about first round? What would you do?
Well, I wrote a couple positions here. I wrote 5 down.
Okay.
I wrote offensive line, guard, tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I even put center there, tight end, linebacker, corner, and safety.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I agree with all that.
Yeah.
So how would you address it then?
Well, for me, I'm a little different from Ab. I've only done 3 mock drafts, so I'm 17,
Yeah.
17 mock drafts
Right.
less than him. So, um, no, on the first one, I had Washington taking Christian Gonzalez, the corner.
Yeah,
I had him that there. No, I can't remember him in the first one. In the second, I value offensive line, especially behind particularly behind a young guy like Sam Howell. So I went with Darnold Jones, if he's there, but I know that may be a reach.
right. It would be. Yeah, at 16. Yeah,
I
That's
was
okay.
even thinking about that. There's a tight end. He's in the Pac-12. I can't think of his name, but I know he plays. I know he plays for Utah, I think.
Oh, you're
Okay.
talking about not Musgrave. You're talking about what's that guy's name?
Dalton something.
Dalton Kincaid.
Oh, Kincaid. Yep.
That's who it is.
Yes.
I feel like
Alex. Yeah.
that I feel like that. I don't know. That could be a reach. I mean, you can really take anything that's there, anything that's best available. But I really think if you're Washington, I agree with that. If you try to see if you can trade back on getting extra picks, even if you can move down, even potentially move up. That's going to be that. Because most of the guys I had like the first 2 my drafts were offensive linemen. Well, there was a corner, offensive lineman, and then like all the I can't remember who I put in the third mock draft. I think I put a linebacker. I don't have my mock draft in front of me, but I know
That's okay.
It's the linebacker
Sure.
that I have in the third one.
What about? Let's talk about day 2. All right. Second round pick, third round pick. Who are there guys there that you kind of are like pegging? Like this could be when you could go get this guy. This could be when you could go get this position. Do you have an idea about what you would like to target then?
I could potentially see them targeting a corner or an edge, even a linebacker there. I could potentially see that. I don't know any players on top of my head, but those are positions I could see Washington attacking. I see it being a mixture. I don't see it being strictly all defense in this draft. I think,
right.
I think, like I said, I don't think quarterback. I don't think that should be a priority. I will say you could honestly make the case and say running back. In my opinion, I think you need another guy behind Brian Robinson, because the way I think they adjusted Antonio Gibson to a returner, I think you need a legit number 3 behind those guys. So I don't know any players on top of my head that could be day 2 players, but I would think those would be the positions you look at.
Now let me ask you something, because you did mention talking about potentially getting a edge rusher, and in the back we had Ab on here before, and he was talking about we had Sweat and Young, and do we potentially get ahead of the game and trade one? And he was saying potentially we could trade Sweat. If we were to trade Sweat, would you move up on getting an edge guy?
Ooh, well, I'm gonna disagree with that. I'm gonna say no, because I think everything would predicate on the health of Chase Young, number 1, and what is Montez's draft value? Are we talking? What's our asking price? We getting like a second and a fifth, a third and a fifth, 2 4th-round picks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I gotta know what the value is I'm getting for. I think a high caliber edge rusher like Montez. So I'm not going to.
Are what you just mentioned worth it? Would you trade Montez for a second and a fifth or a third and a fifth?
Ooh,
yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good offer, but I think it all depends on if the person that I want is there.
Yeah.
And we're looking at that potential draft pick being he needs at least a good 2 years to develop. So I hate to sacrifice one side of the line with a young guy, and then the other guy, we don't know what he's going to look like going into this season yet.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I understand that for sure. Now, hey, so we're talking also the draft, but a lot of for the draft, a lot of the things that we were kind of holding back on, and we weren't really thinking anything about it, was because the elephant in the room, which was obviously the Dan Snyder situation. Now we see that there's a bid out there, 6.5 million or billion. And it's not exclusive. I mean, firsthand about non-exclusive. Like, how do you feel now with that we basically pretty much on, Dan's on the way out, even though he's not going yet. Does this make you kind of hungrier for the draft, or does this kind of make you sit back and say, let's just wait for him to get out the door and then let's see what the new owners are going to do? Like, does it change your perspective of the draft now, knowing that he's potentially out?
No, it doesn't change my perspective on the draft, because you still got to get the job done. Our goal is to go out there and compete for a championship, regardless if that man is. You too, thank you, appreciate it. Regardless of that man, if he's still in position or not, I'm going to go out there and put together the best team that I can. So I believe Ron, Eric, and those guys have the best. I think they know what they're going to draft. I think they have the strategy. Now, ownership is another thing. I think everyone has to be brought all in with what you're going to be bringing, what you're going to be drafting. So I still think you should focus on the main objective, still have a good draft, know what you're drafting, and just still compete. That's just me. So
I like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Will, you got any more? I got one more quick one. I think you froze up for a second. Are you still with us, Will? You good? You're spinning?
Yeah.
All right, you're good. That's that. Hey, that's that South Carolina Wi-Fi, man. I don't know what we do. Maybe if you were in North Carolina, things would be better for you. Listen, Nathan, one more question, real quick, and
sure.
It would be a crime not to ask you this, because you're on the show and we know you're a diehard Ravens fan. Washington also was one of those that were kind of in the conversation to get him, and we went against that. But your quarterback, non-exclusive. I know you talked about it ad nauseum on different shows, but is there a chance that you guys is this all just a puff of smoke and he'll be there game day week one, or is there maybe a big draft day trade that's coming up?
I'm of the two mindsets. One, I feel like it's smoke and mirrors, because there's a couple things when observing players on social media. There's certain things you can't take at face value. That's one thing. Eric, the Baltimore Ravens, people can say what they want. They're very, very keen on keeping things in-house. Eric DeCosta and John Harbaugh have made it vehemently clear, and I don't know how many press conferences, that they want this guy to be with them. They're building this team with him. But I'm my patience is to the point where it's really starting to thin because I just watched a guy going further up north, I-95, practically get the same damn contract.
Yeah.
If not more, a few $1 million, and the Baltimore Ravens were geniuses, and maybe I don't know, maybe it's I don't know, but my patience is kind of worn thin. Like I'm ready to really move on from it. Whether he's going to be on the field or not, week one, this team is still going to compete. You always got to have a contingency plan. So they talked to Anthony Richardson today, but it could go either way. But it wouldn't faze me if they just come out and say, "Oh yeah, Lamar Jackson signed a 6-year deal, $215 million." Oh, okay. It took you this long to announce it. Cool.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
Yeah. Get it, man. I get it. Well, look, Nathan, we appreciate you hopping on. Real quick, do you have anything coming on in the next couple of days?
Yes. So I haven't been uploading as consistently because I'm just finishing up my spring semester with online school. So my season 15 just started this past weekend. So I'm trying to get these episodes out that I've recorded. And excited for the NFL draft. Baseball's moving right along, so you're going to see content come out in the next couple days.
I can dig it.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Hey, appreciate you, Nathan Snell. Definitely come back and join us sometime, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All righty.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.